Something inside you is shifting. You can feel it even if you can't name it yet. The world you thought you knew suddenly feels different, quieter, sharper, almost strange. Everyday moments that once passed unnoticed are now charged with meaning. People seem to reveal themselves differently. Conversations feel layered with hidden truths, and even your own thoughts no longer follow the same predictable patterns. It's not a dream, it's not a mistake. It's the awakening of perception. But this awakening comes with questions you can't ignore. Questions that will challenge everything you thought about yourself and the life you're living. The question isn't whether you're awake yet. The question is, are you ready to see the world through new eyes and survive what you discover? You start noticing the cracks in life's ordinary facade. What once felt normal now feels hollow. People who were familiar now seem like strangers, moving through their lives on autopilot. And in this realization, you encounter the first twist. Your mind begins to question everything you once relied on. Every routine, every habit, every belief you carried as truth suddenly feels up for examination. And as unsettling as that is, it also feels electrifying. For the first time, you glimpse the possibility that life is far more intricate than you were ever taught to see. But here's the thing. Once you begin noticing these patterns, you can't stop. You begin to wonder if the reality you trusted was ever real at all. And just when you think you're starting to understand, something even deeper is about to appear. Something that will change how you perceive every interaction, every event, every quiet moment you thought was meaningless. Your sense of time begins to warp. What used to feel urgent now feels trivial, and what once felt slow begins to carry weight. It's as if your inner clock is syncing to a rhythm only you can hear. You start observing how much of life was spent reacting to distractions and seeking validation that was never yours to begin with. And in that space of awareness, humor creeps in, a subtle realization of how much energy we waste chasing things that barely matter. Yet this awakening of perception isn't just about noticing absurdity. It's about discovering clarity in the midst of chaos. You notice the unspoken cues people give, the hidden patterns in daily events, the signs that were always there but invisible until now. But there's a danger here. The more you see, the more you realize how many people remain asleep, how many truths are invisible to the unawakened. And this awareness comes with a tension that few know how to navigate, a tension that prepares you for the next stage of transformation if you are willing to face it. Then you look inward. Your mind, once taken for granted, now appears as a complex landscape of conditioned thoughts and unexamined beliefs. You see how often you've been on autopilot, repeating routines, mimicking reactions, carrying programs you never consciously chose. And then comes the most powerful realization. Every thought you observe is an opportunity to choose differently. Every reaction can be rewritten, every assumption questioned. This isn't just awareness in its empowerment, but empowerment comes with responsibility. The more you see, the harder it becomes to ignore the truth of your life. You may start to withdraw from situations and people that no longer align with your evolving perspective. Relationships shift, routines crumble, and the comfort of familiarity begins to vanish. And just when you think you understand this internal revolution, you sense there's another layer waiting, a depth of perception that will stretch your understanding of self, connection, and life itself. As your perception sharpens, you start noticing energy where you never thought it existed. In conversations, in spaces, in fleeting moments of interaction, you sense patterns, emotions, intentions, and subtle dynamics that others overlook. Your awareness becomes a compass, guiding you in ways that feel instinctive yet precise. Suddenly, ordinary encounters are filled with information, lessons, and opportunities to grow. And here's the twist. This heightened sensitivity is not visible to others. They continue moving through life as usual, unaware of the depth you now inhabit. You begin to see who truly aligns with your energy, who drains it, and who operates on a level you can't engage with. It can feel isolating, even lonely at first, but there's a hidden gift in that solitude, clarity. And just when you think you're comfortable with this new discernment, you'll notice something unexpected, an ability to intuit outcomes, predict patterns, and navigate life with an ease that seems almost impossible, yet is entirely real. The shift doesn't stop with perception of the external world. It reaches your own self-concept. You begin to understand that validation from others is fleeting and unreliable. Approval, praise, recognition, all of it begins to feel irrelevant compared to the clarity you now hold internally. You realize strength isn't about control, status, or influence. True strength is seeing, understanding, and responding consciously. Every decision becomes a test of alignment with your inner clarity. You notice the subtle signals your mind, body, and environment are sending you, and you start responding rather than reacting. But here's the catch. The more you embody this clarity, the more the world pushes back. People will resist, misunderstand, or even challenge your new lens. And that resistance is not random. It's life's way of testing how committed you are to seeing reality as it truly is. Just when you think you've mastered this, a new level of awareness emerges, one that will push your perception even further than you ever imagined. You begin to understand the rhythm of life in a way most people never experience. Every event, every interaction, every setback begins to feel intentional, as if orchestrated to teach you something critical about perception, awareness, and choice. You recognize that life isn't random, but neither is it simple. You start identifying the lessons hidden in mundane moments, the subtle guidance in challenges, and the clues that point toward opportunities invisible to the unawakened. And yet, as your understanding deepens, you realize there's a paradox. The more you see, the more you realize how much remains unseen. And it's in that space, the balance between clarity and mystery, that the true power of awakening emerges, shaping a perception that not only observes reality, but transforms it. Your relationships evolve. Some people drift away naturally, while others begin to resonate with your new clarity. It isn't about exclusion or judgment, it's about alignment. You begin to curate your life based on energy and intention, rather than convenience or obligation. And this shift can feel uncomfortable, even isolating, because the old ways of relating no longer satisfy. But in that space, you find authenticity. You realize that connection isn't measured by quantity, but by depth. And just when you think you've understood how to navigate this, a deeper truth surfaces. Awakening is not a destination, but a continual expansion of perception, a constant unfolding that reveals more than you ever expected and challenges everything you thought you knew. Finally, the most profound shift is internal. Your perception is no longer limited to what you see with your eyes or hear with your ears. It extends into an intuitive understanding of patterns, timing, and the flow of life itself. You start sensing outcomes before they happen, understanding people before they speak, and making choices that feel guided by a force you cannot name, yet trust implicitly. Life's mysteries are no longer frustrating. They are invitations to observe, to act consciously, and to grow. And in this space, you realize the ultimate truth of spiritual awakening. Reality itself hasn't changed. You have. Every interaction, every choice, every thought now carries weight because you see with clarity few ever reach. And just when you think you've grasped this, the final revelation appears. Awakening isn't about knowing everything. It's about noticing what matters most, acting with intention, and moving forward with a perception that is alive, aware, and unstoppable. Your restless thoughts, your curiosity, your sense that life is not quite as it seems, they are not flaws, they are the signals of awakening. You are being called to notice, to question, and to act intentionally. Life will never feel ordinary again, and that is the point. Every moment becomes a lesson, every encounter an opportunity, and every challenge a reflection of your growing perception. Your next step is simple but profound. Start observing, start questioning, start aligning your choices with the clarity your mind now holds. Do not fear the unknown. Instead, embrace it as the arena in which your awareness will expand. You are awakening, and the world will never look the same again. The question isn't whether you're ready. The question is, are you willing to see everything clearly, to move deliberately, and to step fully into the version of yourself that can navigate life with awareness, power, and insight? The path ahead is alive with opportunity, but only for those willing to perceive it fully.